What's up, y'all? It is me, Tasha C, and welcome to the Tasha C Show podcast. Shout out to my YouTube and podcast fans, hugs and loves, positivity, courage, blessing, miracles. Ooh, excuse me, y'all. I'm gonna leave that in. And hugs and loves and shout out to people who will be supporting me in both, either or. I mean, I have no problem enjoying both my YouTube and podcast spam. Thank you very much. Again, y'all, I'm going through a period of insomnia. I had that one good day of sleep. If y'all been listening to my podcast, again, I have periods where either I get too much sleep or weird, off balance my sleeping pattern. So, I am up. It is 4:21 a.m. April 26, 2020, Sunday. Last day of the weekend, I guess you should say. And, so I decided to go ahead again and just record for Soulful Sunday today. This is another volume of our Kings and Queens Next Door, volume 86. I forgot to mention I was doing. It was yesterday. It was my 200th day of doing, which I haven't brought up in a long time. My YouTube video journey series that, make a long story short, I started last year on my birthday, plan on ending that. This was originally an additional series that started out just talk about different things of Black history, and now I have decided to continue on as long as I can and as long as I want to, the time being, to continue this series. So I just been doing this as well, and just like sometimes, let me just do this instead of doing like two podcasts or two, I did two podcasts. Okay. But anyway, let's go ahead and, start and, start this again. Now, I haven't been on Instagram for a while. I still sometimes have quotes. I'll get back to that there. But, originally, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I was going to do, this episode just on one, which is was going to be on Bumpy Johnson, because some of the stuff that you talk about can be, it's not always going to be positive, because it was certain influence. I wasn't a movie based on Bumpy Johnson, and that's why I wanted to talk about it. Now, I ain't gonna be sitting up here and, like, for example, like, getting, like, honestly making articles about, serial killers and stuff like that, people who are fine. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be doing articles on that, okay? But I will be, doing, possibly Bumpy Johnson near future. But I just decided to change it up because I actually had read about this person a couple times in other people's articles or bibliography. Now today on bibliography.com, I will be talking about Harry Belafonte biography, who's a singer and was born in 1920s. I don't know what to get 2000. He told you I was asleep. I'm up here looking at the wrong dates, and the person is still currently here. Now, originally, this article was on December 21st of 2017, but it was updated last year on June 28th, 2019. And, of course, had a little mini, preview since this actor, singer, activist Harry Belafonte has achieved lasting fame for such songs as the Banana Boat song "Day-O," as well as his film and humanitarian work. That's the part I knew more about Day-O. I thought that was the name just of the song itself, and I heard it. I know this is some random y'all. Did you ever see the darn movie Beetlejuice? That's when I heard it. Just like the Heidi song. I honestly didn't know the name of the song, y'all, till I read about Cab Calloway's actual biography. I thought the song was just Heidi the Flow. Okay. I all of a sudden start to yawn. It seems like every time I want to do these podcasts. Who is Harry Belafonte? Born on March the 1st, 1927, in New York City, Harry Belafonte struggled with poverty and a turbulent family life as a child. His professional career took off with the musical Carmen Jones as soon as he was burning up the charts with hits like the Banana Boat Song "Day-O" and Jump into Life. But Belafonte has also championed many social and political causes, earning prestigious accolades as a National Medal of Arts. Parents: Harold George Belafonte Jr. was born March the 1st, 1927, in New York City to Caribbean immigrants. His mother worked as a dressmaker and a housekeeper, and his father served as a cook on merchant ships before leaving the family when Belafonte was a young boy. Belafonte spent much of his early years in Jamaica, his mother's native country. There, he saw firsthand the oppression of blacks by the English authorities, which left a lasting impression on him. Belafonte returned to New York City's Howell neighborhood in 1940 to live with his mother. They struggled in poverty, and Belafonte was often cared for by others while his mother worked. The most difficult time of my life was when I was a kid, he later told People magazine. My mother gave me affection, but because I was left on my own, also a lot of anguish. Wife and children. Belafonte lives in New York City with his third wife, photographer Pamela Frank. The couple married in 2008. Belafonte had 2 children with second wife, dancer Julie Robinson, as well as 2 other children from his first marriage to Margaret Bird. Oh, I'm saying the name right, y'all. Y'all know I'll be chopping up my pronunciation of words. Early career. Dropping out of high school, Belafonte enlisted in the U.S. Navy in 1944. He returned to New York City after his discharge and was working as a janitor apprentice when he first attended the production at the American Negro Theater. Mesmerized by the performance, the young Navy vet volunteered to work for the AMT as a stagehand, eventually decided to become an actor. Belafonte studied the drama at the dramatic workshop run by Aaron Parsons, where his classmates including Marlon Brando, Walter Matthau, and Bea Offer. Along with appearing in ATM Productions, he caught the eye of the music agent Monte Kay, who offered Belafonte the opportunity to perform at a jazz club called the Royal Roost. Backed by talented musicians such as Charlie Parker and Miles Davis, Belafonte became a popular act at the club. In 1949, he landed his first recording deal. By the early 1950s, Belafonte dropped the popular music from his repertoire in favor of folk. He became an adept student of traditional folk songs from around the world and performed in such New York City clubs as the Village Vanguard. Movies. During this time, Belafonte was finding success as an actor. Debuting on Broadway in 1953, he won a Tony Award for the following year of his work in John Murray's Angel John Murray's Angels Amick, I hope I'm saying that correctly, in which he performed several of his own songs. Belafonte also appeared in another well-received musical revenue, 3 for Tonight, in 1955. Around this time, Belafonte launched his film career. He played school principal Hospital Dorothy Dandridge in his first movie, Bright Road, 1953. The pair reunited in the following year for the Our Philip or premiere of Carmen Jones, a field adaptation of the Broadway musical, itself an adaptation of Joel's Verdi's Our for Carmen, which Belafonte stars as Joel alongside Oscar-nominated Dandridge. Belafonte enjoyed some success through his collaboration with longtime friend Sidney Poitier, including 1972's Buck and the Preacher and 1974's Uptown Saturday Night. He also made numerous television appearances in the 1970s and 80s, including the guest spot on The Muppet Show, to which he sang some of his most popular songs. Belafonte also worked with Marlo Thomas on the 1974 children's special To Be You and Me. Belafonte returned to the big screen in the 1990s, first playing himself in the Hollywood Insider flick The Player, 1972. The White Man's Burden, 1995, which co-starred John Travolta, which was a commercial and critical disappointment, but Belafonte's fared better Robert Alma's Kansas City, 1996. Playing against a type as a heartless gangster. He later starred in 1999's political drama Swing Vote and appeared in 2006 Bobby about the assassination of Robert F. Kennedy. I could have sworn like The White Man's Burden was kind of like, I didn't see a movie, but I remember hearing about it. Did y'all remember about that movie? It was kind of like where blacks and whites were like in different positions, where the whites were oppressed instead of the blacks. I think that's what it was, kind of thing. I could have sworn that's what it was about. Songs. The success of Carmen Jones in 1954 made Belafonte a star, and soon he became a music sensation. With RCA Victor Records, he released Calypso, 1956, an album featuring his take on traditional Caribbean folk music. The Banana Boat song Deo proved to be a huge hit. More than just a popular tune, it also held a special meaning for Belafonte. That song's a way of life, to tell the New York City Times. It's a song about my father, my mother, my uncles, the men and the women who toiled in the banana fields, the cane fields of Jamaica. Introducing America to a new genre of music, Calypso became the first full-length album to sell 1 million copies. Wow! It led to Belafonte being nicknamed the King of Calypso. The singer also worked with other folk artists, including Bob Dylan and Odetta, whom he recorded a version of the traditional Truder Souls, There's a Hole in My Bucket. In 1961, Belafonte had another big hit with Jumped in the Line. Belafonte was the first African American to win an Emmy for Rebel on Revenue Tonight with Belafonte in 1959, and the first African American television producer. In 1970, he teamed up with singer Lena Horne for a 1-hour TV special that showcased their talents. I talked about Lena Horne before a couple weeks ago. Belafonte continued to release albums into the 1970s, though his output slowed by the middle of the decade. Social and political activism. Always outspoken, Belafonte found inspiration for its activism such figures as singer Paul Robeson and writer-activist W.E.B. Du Bois. After meeting civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. in the 1950s, the two became good friends, and Belafonte emerged as a strong voice for the movement. He provided financial backing for the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee and participated in numerous rallies and protests. Belafonte helped organize the 1963 March on Washington, in which King delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech, and met with the civil rights leader short before he was assassinated in 1968. During the mid-1960s, Belafonte began supporting new African artists. He met with exiled South African artist Merlin Makeba, known as Mama Africa, in London in 1958. And together they won a Grammy for Best Folk Recording for their 1965 album, And Even with Belafonte Makeba. He helped introduce her to international audience and call attention to life under apartheid in South Africa. In the 1980s, Belafonte led the effort to help people in Africa. He came up with the idea of recording a song with other celebrities that would be so to raise funds to provide famine relief in Ethiopia. Written by Michael Jackson and Lionel Richie, we are the world feature vocals such as music greats Ray Charles, which I just talked about the other day, Diana Ross, and Bruce Springsteen. The song was released in 1985, raising $1 million and becoming an international hit. Over the years, Belafonte has supported many causes as well. In addition to the role as a goodwill ambassador for UNICEF, he also campaigned to end practice of apartheid in South Africa and has spoken out against U.S. military actions in Iraq. Belafonte has sometimes landed in hot water for his candidly expressed opinions. In 2006, he made headlines were referred to President George Bush as the greatest terrorist in the world for launching the war in Iraq. Isn't this around the time, wait a minute, was it 2 years ago? Remember when somebody said, and we probably know, most of us probably know, it's like Bush didn't care nothing about black people, and then all of a sudden we see where they are today. Okay, let me continue. He also assaulted two prominent African members of the Bush administration, General Colin Powell and Condoleezza Rice, referring to them as house slaves. I'm sorry, y'all, I don't know why, that made me giggle a little bit. Despite media pressure, he steadfastly refused to apologize for his remarks. Now, y'all, don't this, last week or a little before then, I did a podcast talking about Eartha Kitt. And Eartha Kitt also, expressed how the way she felt when she was live about, and stating, were like, oh my gosh, about some of the mess called about war and stuff like that. So, it just reminds me of it. In regards to parliament rights, Belafonte say they were serving those who continue to design our oppression. Awards. Belafonte has achieved some of the highest honors possible over more than half a century in the public eye. He was recipient of the Kennedy Center Honors in 1989 and National Medal of Artists in 1994 and the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2000. Additionally, in 2004, he received the Gene Hausman Humanitarian Award at the Governor's Awards. And and that is it, y'all. I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna read 2 things today. No, I'm not. Sorry, y'all. I am done for today. And let me get off of here because I'm yawning too much. And hugs and loves. Hope I finally get some sleep. I'll be glad when this part gets over with or whatever and I get a solution to this. But anyway, hugs and loves, y'all. God bless. Positive vibes and everything else. Positive. And I will see y'all in the next podcast tomorrow. Take care. Hugs and loves. Again, I'm out.